Hello, my name is Andrew C. Today we're going to be discussing a negotiation between Jay-Z and Live Nation. Jay-Z will be stepping down as president of Def Jam Recordings to sign a $150 million deal that would pay $5 million annually for his own label, publishing, and management company. He will receive a $25 million payment and $10 million per album for a minimum of 3 albums over the next 10 years. Jay-Z will get an upfront payment of $25 million and an advance of $25 million that includes fees for his tour. Jay-Z will also receive a $10 million advance per album for a minimum of 3 albums. Jay-Z is also receiving other payments adding up to $20 million for publishing, licensing, and other rights. Jay will also receive $5 million a year for 5 years to finance overhead costs for his own label, music publishing, and artist management. On top of all that, Jay-Z will have an additional $25 million available to him to finance acquisitions or investment. Live Nation is getting a megastar and an entrepreneur in Jay-Z. Even though Jay's album sales have declined, he still has the ability to sell out arenas. Live Nation is also going into business with Jay-Z on a label called Roc Nation. Live Nation reportedly splits profits from Roc Nation. Live Nation also gets one of the biggest names in the music industry and possibly in the world. This will help attract other artists to the Live Nation family. A negotiation as big as the Jay-Z Live Nation deal, I can only imagine that the underlying interest of both parties was financial gain. Jay-Z will get a huge amount of money from this deal. Live Nation could potentially make a huge amount of money on concert tours and business ventures. Live Nation also gets the Jay-Z name. This will help attract other artists, and it helps prove the point that Live Nation is a major force to be reckoned with. While the 3 major record companies struggle to figure out a profitable plan of action, Live Nation has positioned itself differently in the music industry. I believe affiliation was one of many negotiation techniques used in the deal between Jay-Z and Live Nation. I believe Live Nation, who already had been growing their family with megastars Madonna and U2, wanted to be affiliated with Jay-Z. They wanted to be part of the influence that Jay-Z has in the music industry. By affiliating themselves with Jay-Z and creating Roc Nation, Live Nation stands to attract several well-known artists and possibly become one of the biggest record labels around. By entering into other ventures with Jay-Z, they are building their status and hoping to make money. By going into business together, they are both working toward a common goal. I believe Live Nation will do whatever it takes to maintain their affiliation with Jay-Z. Live Nation has received some criticism over the deal with Jay-Z. Some are saying the deal was too expensive and they will not be able to make money. I believe Live Nation did some homework before they made the deal and decided it was a profitable venture. Some objective criteria that Live Nation used was the decline in album sales for Jay-Z, the amount of money paid to other large artists in the past, and Live Nation is primarily a ticket seller, a live music promoter, and a venue owner. They looked at the ticket sales that Jay-Z did, and they know that he can sell out arena-sized concerts. By looking at the objective criteria, Live Nation knew that they could make money on Jay-Z concert tours. I think the biggest technique to use in this negotiation was mutual benefit. Both parties could potentially make a lot of money from this deal. Both parties are also raising their status by doing this deal. In this situation, I think each party went into this negotiation knowing they had other options, probably several. Live Nation's BATNA could have been the fact that if they didn't sign with Jay-Z, they had several other big artists they could approach and make a deal with, possibly for less money. Jay-Z's BATNA could have been that he may have been able to negotiate a similar deal with another label, and he would have been able to find other ways to finance his record label and his business interests. Jay-Z stands to make a lot of money in this deal, an estimated $150 million. Jay-Z also has money waiting to start a new business venture. This could potentially lead to a great deal of money if Jay-Z comes up with a lucrative business plan or idea. Live Nation could also make a large amount of money over time with this deal. They could potentially recoup the money they are giving Jay-Z from his concert tour. They could also make a great deal of money being a part of Jay-Z's business ventures. Live Nation is also gaining status by making this deal. They have signed a deal with one of the biggest names in the world and have partnered up with him to create Roc Nation, a new age record label. This status shows other major record labels that they are here, they do things different, and they're not going away. I believe that many aspects of this negotiation went well. Both parties were looking for the next opportunity. Jay-Z left Def Jam Records and already wanted to start his own label. Live Nation was in the process of looking for more big-name talent to add to their roster. I believe they addressed the needs and wants of each other. Both parties filled the need for the other, and they both agreed that profitability was favorable. In the end, I believe they both respected each other and their positions in this deal. Though this deal is definitely good for Jay-Z, it could go either way for Live Nation. Live Nation went through this negotiation knowing they may not make money directly from Jay-Z's albums or tours. Live Nation signed Jay-Z even though he still owed one album to Def Jam Records. Something else that went wrong was the fact that this deal took almost 4 months to complete. An agreement was reached in this negotiation. Many would say that Jay-Z came out the winner, but the agreement should benefit both parties. The agreement was that Jay would get $150 million for a 10-year contract with Live Nation. The deal gives Jay-Z $25 million upfront, a $25 million advance, a $10 million advance per album for 3 albums, $20 million in payments for licensing and publishing, and he will have $25 million available to finance acquisitions or investments. I believe the agreement reached will foster a long-term and meaningful relationship. The agreement is over a 10-year time period. This is a long-term contract, and both are obligated to foster that long-term relationship. I also believe this will be a meaningful relationship. Both parties have a music industry business model idea that works well with the ideas of the other. This should help foster that meaningful relationship. Also, both parties stand to make a lot of money, and if they do, they will want to maintain that relationship.